Daybreak Africa is your one-stop top-notch breakfast show that brings you all the interesting stories happening in and around Africa.
Because we have all the morning essentials,
including the latest news, sports, weather, and events. And of course, the people.
Daybreak Africa on Television Nigerian.
Weekdays, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m.
A very beautiful good morning to you and many thanks for joining us. This is Daybreak Africa on Television Nigeria. I hope we all had a beautiful night rest. My name is Elvis Oga.
And I am Susan Achin. Good morning, Elvis.
Good morning, Susan.
Yeah.
It feels so strange to have you said this morning.
It feels stranger to me.
Well, I know we've always been doing this, so we're good to go.
Yeah, of course.
We'll have a whole lot to talk about this morning. Reactions, concern, and then tensions concerning the elections are being uptight with the days fast approaching and all. And there's these several videos upon videos have been released, and people have been reacting to that. The one that happened last night was a video surfaced from somewhere alleging that Comrade Adams Oshomole, the SY national chairman of APC, was seen telling the chief of staff to the president about some series of arrests. That has attracted series of reactions already.
Well, it's very interesting that we've been seeing the rounds, you know, the heat coming out of this, and the fact that these elections are in a few days, you know, gets us very worried. Earlier on, we were talking about the fact that we might need to deploy, you know, military forces, you know, or security operatives, yes, you know, so that we can guard. Oshomole was recently seen at the president's at the presidential villa, you know, and one would have thought that they were trying to resolve issues because the president came out to say that no matter what, and we know that that has been the president's stand. You know, it's all about being, he's all about the people and having a strong democracy and ensuring that it's about the people voting, you know, and the whole sincerity. But the fact that a video will pop up and then Oshomole allegedly, because we're not sure, will be allegedly seen to tell the chief of staff, you know, to arrest certain people for certain reasons. I don't know. Should we be more worried than we already are about the forthcoming Nigerian elections? I really don't know.
You know, we're listening to a conversation just now from a sister media house where they were talking about why is it that tensions are always heightened, or the elections in Edo State are always quite volatile.
Yes.
And he was talking about, okay, it tends, because of the volatile nature of elections in Edo State, it tends to take away people normally looking out for manifestos from the representatives of the political gladiators in Edo State, so that people will know who to pitch their tent with. But now, because of the tensions on ground, nobody is actually looking for the manifestos to look for who is going to talk about better the lot of the people and all.
Yes.
And it calls for serious concern.
Yes, very important point, because we now see that the attention is actually diverted from the right place. It should be about what this person is capable of doing. You know, what has this person done in the past? You know, these people have track records, you know, and it's good that people follow their patterns to see if they can actually deliver. But at this point, considering the volatility, it means that it will be difficult for people's attention to be focused in the right direction. It means that Edo people their attention has been torn apart, such that it's more about either we are dragging, if it's not ABC this way, you know, it's PDP the other way. And then it's very unfortunate, because eventually, I hope that whoever, you know, comes out and whoever is the winner will actually be able to deliver.
Okay, because still talking about reactions, trailing the videos that were actually put out. One of the most prominent ones is the one that came from the presidential spokesperson, the president of Garba Shehu, when he said it's a video of mischief that we all know that nothing like that happened. And then this is not the first time we've actually seen videos fly in recent times. And it's now revolving around the same thing. We're talking about, okay, some of these videos must have been doctored, and then
yeah,
we keep
I mean,
asking.
looking at the how porous our social media, our social media is, you know, anything can actually happen, anything is possible. But then we also know that there are people that are capable of peeping internally, you know, to drag out things that the layman outside may not know about. So it's difficult to sometimes know how authentic some of these videos are. But this person, we saw him. We watched the videos.
We're actually talking about the nature of elections in Nigeria, where if it favors you, the system is okay.
But if it doesn't favor you, then it was rigged.
Yeah, the system is faulty and all. I think this is more like we have to look at it from both perspectives. If it's true, then Nigerians are keenly watching. Then if it's actually a doctored video, there should be penalties for that.
Yes.
And then, in as much whether true or not, that means the people that are under this allegation now needs to be very careful with their dealings, because people will tend to read meanings into their body language and all. So that's that on that. But there's this other video where Oshomole was seen lamenting, or he was actually pouring out his mind, bearing out his heart and all concerning the DG of APC, alleging that some people, in his words, some governors who are not bold enough, he calls them coward, are using the DG to actually attack him. And then it was alleged that he is trying to work his way back as the national chairman. And he said no. And you know, we were talking about this yesterday, and I said, I think this is more like a spirit of sportsmanship, if you ask me. I don't know if I'm allowed to share my opinion here, but you know, ordinarily when he was being suspended as the party chairman, people were expecting that bad blood, and then expecting that he would have distanced himself from the party.
Well, but he didn't.
He didn't, and we saw that he's actually there trying to make shere that the party come out victorious, which is a very good spirit of sportsmanship. And I said something, I tend to liken it to what happened during the general elections last year, when after the presidential primary, most of the PDP big wheat actually lost to Atiku, and we're expecting divisions and all, but it didn't happen. All of them rallied around Atiku. So it shows how mature democracy is becoming.
Actually, the truth is, if I want a particular position, and my intentions are good, my intentions are for the people and for the betterment, you know, of the system, I don't think that there will be need to, you know, become too agitated if there are certain frictions, you know, that are surrounding that particular position. You know, if you come out, I once watched a movie, you know, that portrayed and depicted the things that happen in our political system, and it gave me an impression. The impression is that if I really came out to better people's lives, and I really came out, I saw how the system is, and what I want to do is great, and have good intentions. It means that if frictions, you know, are bound, what will happen is it will be easier for me to step down, because I already know that, well, I just wanted to help, I wanted to do good, you know, so there will be no need to necessarily fight or become violent or insist, you know. But sometimes when we see the way that people go about these frictions that come out of these positions, political positions, it gives us...
You may not be wrong if you say there are some selfish interests.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
If you are out to serve the people, to better the lot of the people, and they don't give you the chance, why must you make it a do or die?
So be it. What's the big deal?
All right, I think we need to just take a look at the video about Oshomole bearing out his mind and pouring out his heart concerning people he allegedly called coward, using the DG of APC to attack him.
It takes an empty brain to suggest that, oh, Shomole want to stick his comeback to become national chairman. For what? To go and do a receipt. So my attitude is not to reply to those. And that is coming from somebody who says he's an employee, an appointee of Progressive Governors Forum. It's just that the cowards that are using him are not able to come out. Otherwise, you should ask this guy, who is now election expert. He contested for Senate against McCarthy. He lost deposit. He even contested against Governor Rufai for primaries, and he lost deposit before Fayemi unilaterally appointed him as a DG. So if he's now the spokesman abusing me and all of that, you want to drag me to his level? No. A gentleman does not wrestle with a pig.
All right, welcome back. You've seen for yourself, that's the video of Oshomole pouring out his heart out there, talking about or alleging that some APC governors who are not bold enough are using the DG of APC to attack him.
Well, when it comes to these things, everybody always say they are attacked or they are trying to do something good, and that's why someone is, fighting them and all that. But eventually, I think that the truth will play out at the end of the day. And September is just by the corner, so fingers crossed. Exactly.
Talking about September by the corner, and then I don't think this is the kind of a friction that should be coming or emanating from the All Progressive Congress at the moment, because ordinarily one would want to see them join forces together and see how they could actually come out victorious at the polls, because apart from Edo, we still have Ondo by the corner as well. And then if all of this is coming, it's going to be more like a division in the house, and then there's this adage about a house being divided against itself.
It cannot stand, and then how much good can come out of such a place.
Like you said, September is by the corner, and then October is by the corner as well. So we keep
hopefully we will have a free and fair election as the president projects.
Yeah, and then see what happens at the end of the day. It's about that time we'll go to the news desk to get some interesting news world over, and then Susan Achi will still have to be on that.
There are a lot of false information about the coronavirus. These are the facts. People of all ages can be affected by the coronavirus. However, older people and people with pre-existing medical conditions such as asthma, diabetes, heart diseases are more vulnerable to the disease. It is not for old people alone. Gargling salt and warm water or chewing garlic and ginger cannot prevent the virus. Drinking alcohol, hot lemon, palm oil or chloroquine will not kill the virus. The virus cannot be transmitted through mosquito bites. Antibiotics do not work against the viruses. Antibiotics work only against bacteria. Boiling pineapple peels, lime and ginger does not kill the virus. Putting raw onions in rooms will not ward off the virus. Using or spraying Dettol, special oils and water all over your body cannot kill the virus. There is no scientific evidence that cooking, drinking, or eating any of these is an effective treatment for coronavirus. Do not self-medicate, and take responsibility by sharing only verified messages from health authorities such as NCDC, Federal Ministry of Health, and WHO.
Good morning and welcome to AM News. I am Susan Achin. Nigeria on Tuesday recorded 410 new cases of the novel coronavirus as the country's total number of confirmed infections neared 50,000. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control confirmed the news in a late-night tweet. The country's virus epicenter, Lagos, reported 210 new cases, while the FCT posted 45 new infections. 4 new deaths were recorded on Tuesday as the total toll from the virus reached 981. However, the number of recovered patients rose to 37,051. Bayelsa State Governor Doye Diri has appealed the judgment which nullified his election as the governor of the state. The governor's lawyers filed the notice of appeal on Tuesday at the Court of Appeal in Abuja, the nation's capital. He is challenging the majority judgment of the Bayelsa State Governorship Election Tribunal, which nullified his election on 12 grounds. The Advanced Nigeria Democratic Party, ANDP, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, and the People's Democratic Party, PDP, are listed as first, second, and third respondents in the appeal. Meanwhile, operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, have uncovered a new route used by criminally minded persons to import drugs into Nigeria. The chairman and chief executive of NDLEA, Colonel Muhammad Abdallah, who disclosed this, said the agency has discovered another 40-foot container at Browell Terminal in Lagos. He explained that the discovery was made during follow-up investigations by the NDLEA after the police intercepted a 40-foot container laden with about 40 cartons of tramadol and other banned drugs concealed in cartons of brushes. And now the federal government hopes to have a budget expenditure framework projected at 12.658 trillion naira for the 2021 fiscal year. This is contained in the latest economic outlook by the Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning. The document signed by the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Ahmed Zainab, indicated that the figure represented a 17.2% increase of the revised 10.8 trillion naira 2020 budget. The aggregate revenue available for the budget for next year is projected at 7.498 trillion naira, while the aggregate expenditure level is projected to be 12.658 trillion naira. And now moving on to the entertainment scene, Nigerian actor Kanayo says it is wrong for an African man to kneel while trying to propose to a woman he plans to marry. The movie star made this known via his Instagram page on Tuesday, August 18, 2020. According to him, it is not in Africa's culture for a man to kneel while proposing to a woman, insisting that it was an act copied from the Western world. Well, different strokes for different folks. And that's it on AM News. I am Susan Achin. Daybreak Africa will continue shortly. Stay with us.
A broadcast network committed to serving you the very best in online and offline television programming. Situated in the serene environment of Guzape, Abuja FCT, TVN, as it is fondly called, caters to a wide variety of audience via carefully orchestrated mind-blowing programs in the areas of fashion, business, politics, entertainment, religion, movies, food and health, culture and lifestyle, events around the globe, sports and foreign news. Whatever your inclination.
Alright, welcome back. If you just joined us, this is Daybreak Africa on television Nigeria. Interesting news there, and that entertainment is actually gotten.
Seriously, I beg to differ from what Kanayo said. Why won't you kneel? I mean, the woman is going to be kneeling for the rest of her life.
I don't think you're allowed to share your opinion here.
Okay, well, I have to, because I'm a woman. So, yes, kneel down is good.
I can see your emotions pumping. And you're actually wearing a lady.
Anyway, that's just by the way.
I was actually asking, does that mean we should have to do away with the white wedding or church wedding as well? Because to the best of my understanding, white wedding is somebody else's traditional wedding.
Well, I'm not sure. People will say that the whites imported religion, over here, but it has actually become some people's personal. They've taken it personal. Some people have taken the religion personal. So I don't know if I should say we borrowed it. We actually learned from as we took the religion, that was how we took everything that came with it.
Okay, you just heard that from Susan, and then it's about that time we take a look at headlines from the national dailies. And the very first national daily I have here is the This Day newspaper with the following headlines. Just above the nameplate, CBN, 1.66 billion naira cases treated under new debt recovery initiative. Recovers 50 million naira in 9 days. More extension to corporate accounts. Then we also have NNPC partners 80 to disclose tax contract beneficiaries. That story can be found on page 6 of This Day newspaper. And we also have DIRI files 11 grounds of appeal against tribunal judgment. You can also find that on page 5 of This Day newspaper. The banner headline we have from This Day newspaper this morning reads, renewed war over 774,000 public works jobs as National Assembly rejects slot. It's of no consequence, says Keyamo. And then this story finds its way to the front page of the national dailies once more. The back and forth movement concerning the Minister of State for Labor and Employment, the person of Festus Keyamo, and the lawmakers when they were actually discussing this, and it's rearing its, I wouldn't want to call it ugly heads again. All right, let's still take a look at a few more headlines from this day newspaper before we move on to the next one. Beside the picture story, again, Obaseki Izeyamo trade blame over threat of violence. And I'll take this last one here. Buhari, Oyetola, NGE Mon, Wada Meida. You can check page 8 of this day newspaper for details of this. And then you can actually do it by picking a copy of the This Day newspaper for details of these stories and even more.
And then moving straight up to the Guardian newspaper, ATMs dispense 30 trillion naira in 6 years despite errors. How interesting.
Good statistics.
I'm going to get another job. And also, below that, stalemate in Unilag crisis as ASU joins free. Then I think that's it for the Guardian newspaper. All
right, we now quickly move on to the Nation newspaper with the following headlines. Federal government plans 3.1 trillion naira for debt servicing in 2021. Besides that, President PM arrested in Mali mutiny. We're actually talking about that, and then we have to maybe talk extensively about that when we go across Africa for some more news. Banner headline from the Nation newspaper this morning reads, 774,000 public works jobs. PDP lawmakers rejects slots. Minister allocation a mere privilege. Nigerians will be beneficiaries. And then below that, marking day to police. Rearrest killer suspect now. COVID-19 stories terrible. And then I'll take some few more headlines from the Nation newspaper. Above the nameplate, P&ID director, firms charged with money laundering. Please probe dirty fight between Hakim and woman. ASU seeks visitation panel for Unilag, demands probe of VC sack. That's all for the Nation newspaper this morning.
Okay, now on to the Daily Sun, just beside the nameplate. Leave Obi out of Obiano Monarchs feud, ex-commissioner. And then below that, we're broke, governors. Very profound. We're broke. COVID-19 lockdown, actually. States can't pay salaries, meet other obligations, seek 67.2 billion naira bailout from FG.
I see crisis.
Bailout again, I mean.
When you affect the workers' remuneration, you know already, because I know quite a number of states in Nigeria that are actually civil service states, and then basically what drives the economy.
Exactly. Without they can't survive.
Yeah, most of the workforce, the population of the workforce is most of the population is actually